welcome back to the Constitution line by line. We are now deep into the amendments. We've gotten through the Bill of Rights, mostly.
Yes.
Because you're big on Amendment 27 being part of the Bill of Rights.
Get to that later.
All right. But now we're moving beyond the Bill of Rights into some of the early but not original amendments to the Constitution.
Right.
I'm Don Frazier.
I'm Paul Fabrizio. And I just want to make this point. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution, what we call the Bill of Rights, were all proposed 1789.
Yes.
They were ratified by the states very early in American government history.
Sure.
December 15th, 1791. Okay.
So part of the ratification of the Constitution process, frankly.
Yeah. So we got this new government. Everybody agreed we're going to ratify the amendment, so they were ratified. And then the government got to work. George Washington was president. The Congress started meeting. Supreme Court met.
The machinery of government is cranking along.
Is starting to get going.
Dun, 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 dun,
And
dun,
then
dun, dun, dun,
they
dun.
had disputes, and the states got angry. And this is really the first time that the anger of the states got back, and they said, we got to fix something. So let's take it that way. Okay?
And what year is this that we're talking about?
We're talking about a proposed amendment in 1794
Pretty early on.
and ratified 1799 when John Adams was president.
Only took 5 years to get everybody to
agree
get to the
it.
point to agree. But all
Okay.
right, so what is this magic amendment?
Okay. The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. So, there was a case called Chisholm versus Georgia,
Okay.
where Chisholm sued Georgia. It was decided by the Supreme Court in favor of Chisholm. And people got upset. They go, wait a second, why is this suit taking place in federal court? Because per the original Constitution, it could take place in federal court. Everybody said, we need to limit the power of the federal government or the federal courts immediately.
Yeah.
So that's what they proposed. And what it does is it says if you're going to sue a state, you have to sue the state in state court. You can't go to federal court.
God, can you imagine all the citizens of California suing Texas?
That would be just
They would find that to be delicious.
well, it would also work the other way too.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you
know.
could essentially use the law as an invasion of another state.
Yeah. So if you want to sue a state, and by the way, states have immunity, so you have to get their permission to sue them.
Sure.
So if you want to sue a state, you have to sue a state in state court. Now, there are exceptions to that, and that's what the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act were all about, is they gave people permission to sue states in federal court for specific things.
For specific things. And if you take a look at any credit card contract that you're part of, it'll tell you which state has jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
And what would be that reason?
Well, that reason is you need to bring that. First of all, that credit card company knows which state is going to be the most sympathetic, Delaware, and
Yes,
they want to have all the protections there as opposed to Texas.
Yeah. So what we've got then is it's a protection that the states, remember, we talked about this with the 10th Amendment. The states really had these reserve powers. But once the government got going, they go, wait a second.
We missed one.
We missed one. We blew it. So we need to grab some of our power back. We need to grab some of our protection back. So this is what they did.
And this is just a simple remedy.
Yeah, it's a simple remedy. And, it just plays out. If you want to sue a state, sue it in state court.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay, and by this time we have Kentucky and Tennessee to worry about too.
Okay, I don't know if
by the time it's ratified.
I don't know if that was a big deal for them. If
well, I'm just saying that
taking place.
Now we're getting past the 13 originals, and now we're starting to spawn new states and things like that. And
the government's growing. The government's trying to figure out what it does, how it goes about doing its job.
And most of the mechanisms of how states are added actually was done during the Articles of Confederation government.
Okay.
And
it was laid out in the Constitution.
Yeah.
We've already talked about
Yeah.
that before. But then once you got it, what do you do?
Yeah,
What is the job of government?
correct.
And
One thing is you can't you can't let people in California sue Texas unless
Okay.
it's sent through state courts.
okay, you sue through state courts. That's the way it goes.
All right, so that's
Except
our
for
line.
voting rights. Keep
And
that in mind.
we're getting there because there's some things that's kind of rise above.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so that's our amendment. That's the 11th Amendment, and we'll pick up the 12th Amendment next time.